Baltic Development Forum is a leading network in the Baltic Sea region, bringing together business, governments, regional organizations, academia and media to discuss and collaborate on issues on the development in the region in the Baltic Sea. Baltic Development Forum has members from large companies, major cities, institutional investors, and business associations in the region. And we work close together with the European Commission and international organizations. BDF is agenda setting when it comes to issues related to competitiveness, growth, and economic development in the region. We are glad to get the opportunity to organize this event together with two of our members, City of Stockholm and Microsoft, to be introduced soon by Ulla and Anna-Louise. We have been working closely together with Stockholm since the beginning of BDF within many topics of joint interest, and we are pleased to have you generously accepting to be host of this conference. Microsoft is a relatively new member of BDF, but we are pleased and proud that we are able to attract and cooperate with a global company of that size and influence for mutual interests. The Baltic Sea region is top on Europe and on top of the digital economy. We are frontrunners with unique opportunities, and we have the potential to show Europe a shortcut to the digital single market. This was the idea behind a joint initiative of BDF and BCCA, started last year, and proposed by Estonia's Prime Minister, Andrus Ansip, to look at the barriers and enablers for the digital single market in our region, and to investigate how we can utilize our ICT competence to provide the European process with good examples to how barriers can be overcome, thereby releasing a huge economic potential. The first report was presented at the BDF summit last year in Copenhagen, and it was well received. Microsoft was also involved in the work and encouraged a closer cooperation. During 2012, Microsoft themselves had tried to explore the story behind the Nordic-Baltic ICT position, and we decided to join forces. In the first instance, by co-organizing two events for discussion, a high-level seminar in Brussels, and this followed up by today's event. Anna-Louise from Microsoft will elaborate a little more on the background, including key messages from the Brussels debate. But before that, please allow me to introduce our host and a dear old friend, Ulla Hamilton.
Thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stockholm and to the City Hall. You are looking into a hall with more than 18 million mosaic pieces, and it's really a beautiful place here in Stockholm. The Stockholm region is diverse, innovative, and globally connected. Stockholm is also one of the fastest growing cities in Europe and the largest city in Scandinavia. A city with open, supportive, and stable business environment. Stockholm's cosmopolitan energy is a magnet for talent, and the region welcomes the skill, capital, ideas, and culture that new residents and investors contribute to our economy. Our excellent quality of life, the combination of a vibrant downtown area with the closeness to nature, create the unique Stockholm lifestyle. The region stands for 45% of Sweden's population growth, and have done so during the past years, actually. Stockholm is often considered a leader in adopting new technologies and setting new consumer trends. Many companies use Stockholm as a test market. When PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, rank international city in its report Cities of Opportunity, Stockholm comes out 5th after New York, London, Toronto, and Paris. But we are number 1 regarding intellectual capital, and we are number 1 regarding innovation, and number 1 regarding health, safety, and security. We also score very high regarding technology readiness. Because Stockholm is an innovative region in clean tech, in ICT, in life science, and during the last year, one of the leading gaming clusters in the world. There are a lot of very good ideas, and the challenge is to turn these ideas into companies and products. From a city perspective, we seek ways to facilitate this process. Almost 20 years ago, the city decided to build a fiber optic network throughout the municipality, open to all operators. The business idea of the city-owned company Stockholm is to offer dark fiber capacity, a basic service for carriers for less than it would cost them to install it themselves. The strategy makes it possible for small companies to develop ideas without the burden of heavy investments. And they can hire the capacity they need from Stockholm. This actually ended the era of monopoly distribution and has led to a fascinating development, both regarding price, service, startup companies, and innovation. And it's really one of the important reasons why Stockholm was regarded as the leading IT city during the late 1990s. Today, the 1.2 million kilometers network has more than 100 operators and almost 500 enterprises as primary customers. Since 2012, all public housing and 90% of all households in Stockholm have fiber. The access to high-speed connections, 1,000 megabits per second, is also one reason why more than 92% of Stockholmers use internet on a regular basis. I would like to add that the national goal set up by the government is 90% of all households by 2020. 100 megabits per second. We have 1,000 megabits per second already today in Stockholm. For Stockholm has been a major source of success. As a city, we supply the basic infrastructure. Companies, academia, and others come up with innovative ideas and great companies. The Economist recently published a special report about the Nordic countries, mentioning the Stockholm startup syndrome. The magazine was impressed with the ecosystem for startup scene in Stockholm, with so many good companies. Stockholm is the home of Skype, of Spotify, of Mojang, DICE, and many, many other companies. Ladies and gentlemen, city strategies can make a difference. The city has also adopted an e-strategy. One part is to develop e-services for citizens. Services helping Stockholmers to compare schools before choosing, providers for elderly care, etc., etc. We are working hard in order to improve the service to Stockholm's business community via e-services, to reduce bureaucracy, improve accessibility, provide prompt handling of cases, and provide good and comprehensive information. The service brings together advice, administration, and contacts to entrepreneurs from the city and its various activities in one single place. Another part of the action plan is the action plan for open data. As the first city in Sweden, and perhaps in the world, I think so, the city invited companies and people to an open competition for new ideas and the development of ideas, the Open Stockholm Award 2012. City data regarding parking, transports, construction, environment, air quality, tourism are free and accessible via URL or links. The result was great. We got a lot of new ideas and a lot of apps free of charge, and we will continue to provide more open city data in the future. Because the challenge is to develop the business climate in Stockholm even more. The city has an important role in order to stimulate innovations. Open data is one part, to use public procurement as a tool for stimulating innovation is another, and to develop a closer cooperation between the city, universities and companies via, for example, open labs is a third part. But we need to do more. We need to educate, attract and retain top talents to be globally competitive. That is our common challenge, actually. In Stockholm, we have the world's best school computer network, according to PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. The challenge now is how to use it wisely and to get all schools, from preschools to university, to use IT as a part of the education in a smart way. One example is the teacher, Daniel Bark, at High School Norra Real, whom I met recently. His tool is YouTube. He records his lessons ahead and sends them films to the pupils in preparation for class. In that way, he can spend all his time during the lesson discussing the solutions and helping the students to find the right answers. Finally, although I'm convinced that we need leadership from our governments, we must also show leadership locally and encourage initiatives and an early deployment of best practice among cities. An example is a seminar in English organized by the Stockholm IT region on May the 14th, broadcasted via the Swedish innovation Bambooser, and the topic of how creative cities come about and what they can learn from each other. I welcome you all to tune in, but we need more initiatives like this. May 14th, don't forget that. Today's conference is also a great initiative. We need to meet and talk, to learn from each other in order to come out at the forefront in the international competition. I hope you will have a very interesting and inspiring conference and a wonderful time in Stockholm.
Before introducing myself, I would like to ask, why is it that in times of economic turndown, we have an IT sector in the Nordics that's doing so well? During the past 4 years, the ICT sector created 50,000 new jobs. And as we're speaking, Fast in Norway are hiring 50 new developers. And Skype in Estonia just hired 93 new developers, and they still have 20 open jobs that they're seeking to fill. And why is it that we have such expensive workforce? We have high taxes and a fairly small population, and still we have really important ITC companies like Ericsson, Skype, Nokia, Rovio, Navision. Isn't that a paradox? Why is it that our region is viewed as one of the 5 IT powerhouses of the world? That's what we're here to talk about today. And I want to tell you a little bit about a project that we started in cooperation with Baltic Development Forum called North Star. Give you a little bit of background. Did you know that Microsoft has invested more in the 4 Nordic countries and Estonia? A little area, 1/3 of Germany. We've invested more in this region than anywhere else in the world, including the US. Started by our acquisition of Sendit back in 1999. In 2002, we bought Navision Damgard. It was the biggest acquisition we ever did at that time. Then in 2008, we bought Fast Search in Norway. Then we invested in 2009 and 2011, we invested in Nokia. And just a few years ago, we bought Skype. So let me share a story with you. 2 years ago, I was invited to our general counsel's house in Seattle. And I had a dinner with our general counsel and a few other people from around the world. And our general counsel, Brad Smith, was constantly checking on his phone, and he felt a little uneasy having guests that night. And then he looked at his phone at one point during the dinner, and he shouted for his son, and his son came down and said, "You should have waited to tell the social media about Microsoft acquiring Skype. I haven't signed the deal yet." So I better go sign it. So he left the dinner and he signed the deal that night. And that started the discussion around the table. People asked, so what's going on up there in Scandinavia? Why is it that we're buying all these companies up there? And we decided to look into what the region had done. What was really the secret behind us being so successful. And that's why we started partnering with BDF, the North Star project, which is really about looking into what did the region do right, what did we do different than anywhere else in the world, and also how can we leverage that position to do even more, to make the region even more competitive, and maybe make it an inspiration to other places in the world. So what we did was, we started by setting up some roundtables, invited entrepreneurs, academics, and policymakers in each country, in the 4 Nordic countries and Estonia, to discuss, what can we do more to sustain and leverage on this position. And we didn't have any goal. We just wanted to facilitate a dialogue to really get all the ideas on the table. So what did we find out during those sessions? We brought all those ideas to a conference in Brussels, where the Estonian president came, and we had the Norwegian ITC minister, we had Brad Smith, our general counsel, and a couple of other people to work more on the ideas from the local roundtables. So this conference is actually the last conference in those series of conferences where we want to build on some of the ideas from the local roundtables and also some of the ideas that came up in Brussels. So what did we learn during this journey? First of all, we could confirm that we have this special position. For example, ITC sector is the products generated by the ICT sector. They count for approximately 5–6% of the GDP of our countries. Actually, the highest here in Stockholm, 6.5%. We have, as the Estonian president said in our Brussels conference, we are the only 5 countries in the world that really have digitalized public services. We have, as you mentioned in your speech, we have an electronic prescription system in all the countries. In Denmark, for example, the usage of this system is 100%, almost 100%. I think in Sweden it's 80%, but it's in all the countries quite high. We have a tech-savvy population. It's not only a few people that are enthusiastic about new technology. We are early adopters of new technology. We shop online. Sweden is the place in the world where they do the most, with 71% of the population shopping online. And Also in other places in the health industry, we've done more than anywhere else in the world. For example, in Denmark, we have a system where you have your patient file online. You can book an agreement with your doctor. You can see if the doctor viewed your file. So you have it all electronically. So what did we learn from the roundtables? What can we do more to leverage this position? I'm not going to give you the answers, and I'm not able to, but I can tell you a little bit about what came up during the sessions, and I know that we have other sessions the rest of the day where we will talk more about it. But one area is for sure keep innovating. So, for example, cloud computing, where we can offer cheaper and more flexible solutions. The public sector, keep innovating, offer electronic solutions. Definitely more cross-country collaboration. That's one area where we are not so good. There were some great ideas from you. The president is very much aligned. He said, why don't we do a Nordic prescription system so that you can get your medicine, if you're a Dane, you can get your medicine in Stockholm. When you're there on vacation, why not? Public-private partnerships, and I know Tom Tuxwell will talk more about that, but that's one area where we can really do more. More easy access to public data. What more did we learn? Yes, keep up the talent, attraction, development, and also focus on education. Get the pupils interested in entrepreneurship, and make them more interested in the ICT education. And there's one really nice initiative in Sweden. I know the Maths Commission is one very nice initiative where maybe could inspire other regions as well. But I think one area that I'm quite passionate about is that, you know, there's so many good things going on, and me having a regional role, I see the Maths Commission in Sweden, I see other great initiatives in Finland and Norway. Estonia has a lot of great initiatives also in this area. And we can learn from each other. You know, we should inspire each other, we should copy each other's ideas, and we should work more closely together. And maybe we can really make some lighthouse projects that can make the region more competitive and also inspire the rest of Europe and maybe the rest of the world. Thank you.